to another episode of Good News Glynn. I'm here with Mr. Bill Fallon, County Manager for Glynn County, and we're so excited to have you today.
All right. Well, thanks for having us on again last month of the 2024.
Yes, absolutely. Month of December. And so lots of exciting things going on in December as we head into the holidays. So tell us about what's going on right now at the county.
Yeah, a lot going on throughout the county. In fact, I'll start with one thing that we do every year is we have a ceremony. It's going to be this Thursday. It's to recognize our staff and the years of service. And so we recognize people for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. Everybody that meets those benchmarks. But everybody over 30 years, we recognize them every year. And we actually have one that's over 51 years this year, a couple that are at 45, a couple 41, and a bunch in the 30s. And so it's remarkable to see that that people contribute that much to our community, to Glynn County, for that long a period of time. It's truly outstanding.
It is remarkable. That's a great word. That's exactly right. Yeah. How do you honor them? Is there a ceremony in the courthouse, or how does that work?
Yeah, we do it different places. I think last year we did it at Selden Park. I think we're going to do it there again this year. We just need a big place because it's them and their family. Their family come. We have lunch for them, and so it's just a way for us to honor their service. The commissioners come, make some comments, and then it's just really a chance for everybody to get to see each other, because a lot of people throughout the county just probably don't see each other all year, to be honest with you, and they see each other at this event or events like this.
Yeah, very, very nice. Okay, what else?
Well, December we have a lot going on, so you've probably seen or heard the lights and sirens from the police and fire. So we have the Grinch, who was doing his community service. So as you know, the Grinch stole a couple of Christmas trees, did a couple of other things, got into some mischief this year. And so as part of his sentence, he's supposed to do some community service. And so he actually is being brought around in a police cruiser. And then we also have Santa on top of a fire truck. And so they are going to as many communities as they can, or many neighborhoods as they can throughout the county this year. We did it last year for a couple of weeks. Both Chief Ebner and Chief DiCristofalo wanted to do something a little bit more this year, so they expanded. So they're doing it pretty much every night, weeknight, for about 3 weeks in December. So just look on the schedule. Yeah, it's all posted. So look on their homepage, look on the county page, where you can find out when your neighborhood is coming up.
Okay, awesome. Yes, we're going to have the chief on this month, as well as hopefully Cap Fendig as well. So
yeah, let me tell you one. I did it last year with them. I'll go out this year a couple times, but there was one funny event. We were in the Commons last year, and all these kids, were out. They came out to see Santa, came out to see the Grinch. All of a sudden, I looked down the street and I saw about 10 kids, and they were little. They were probably 4, 5, 6 years old, all holding hands, some of them barefoot, running down the street together in a line to come see Santa and the Grinch. It was pretty cute, but but that's the kind of response that we get in all the neighborhoods. So it's a lot of fun.
Yes, yeah, and it would be helpful to go on the website and find out when the Grinch is coming to your neighborhood, or when Santa's coming, so that you can get the children excited. Hey, get dressed up. We're gonna be out there at a certain time. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then we have on Saturday the 14th, we actually have the parade. So the county, we're going to have the commissioners and some of our other staff are going to be participating in the parade downtown, and so we're looking forward to that. We also have I'm actually going to be ringing the bell at Sam's on Friday Friday, December 20th, from 5 to 7. So if you're out and about doing some Christmas shopping or just doing some regular shopping, come see me out at Sam's from 5 to 7. In fact, we're going to be out there all day. The fire department's going to be out there the first shift, I think, from 1 to 3. And then the police department's going to be there from 3 to 5. In fact, I think emergency management's going to be there from 11 to 1. So Glynn County, we're going to be out there at Sam's ringing the bell for the Salvation Army all day.
Okay. Yeah, so nice. That's another thing about these shows, that it's not just a face, like managing things. You're actually in the community doing things, which is great. And to let everybody know that where you'll be at what time is awesome. This is good news.
Yeah, it is. It's all good news. And we had the tree lighting on St. Simon's on Tuesday the 3rd, And so a lot of people came out. That gets better every year. It's only the second year that we've done it. We were able to get lights across of Ocean down towards Mallory Park. So now that whole strip of Mallory at the pier is lit up. And we got great partnerships with both the Convention and Visitors Bureau as well as all of the businesses that are down there as well. They all join in. It's a lot of fun. It's a great spot for us to be able to kind of do that type of thing and light up the pier for the holidays.
Yes, what a great tradition. I know everybody looks forward to that as well. So in the city and on the island. So that's great.
Yep.
Well, what else do you have?
Well, just a couple of things, kind of a year in review. So it's 2024, and then we're excited about 2025. And so, in 2024, we did a lot, and you covered us throughout the year. We were able to bring on many of our department heads and many of our commissioners as well. And so a lot of projects that were done, we had a couple of storms that we talked about. We had a lot of just great work that the county's been able to do this past year. And we're ramping up for 2025. So although December is kind of a month where we get to have a little bit of fun, we're still hard at work planning for 2025, and we're pretty excited about everything that's going to happen in 2025. And if you actually go on to our SPLOS page, you're going to see the calendar there, and you can look at the projects. And there are going to be 2025 is going to be probably our biggest year for initiating SPLOS projects, and so they're big ones. And so across the board, capital projects as well. So we're excited about that. And we're just looking forward to 2025.
Yes, absolutely. So is there one big project that you're excited about, or is it just a lot of them getting going?
Yeah, it's hard to pick and choose, really, to be honest with you, because there's so many. But I would say that a lot of the ones that we're looking at, well, Coast Guard Beach, for instance. So we're hopefully going to get Coast Guard Beach off the ground and get a shovel in the ground. We wanted to have one. We wanted that work to have started already, but running into some design cost issues we're trying to work through. So we're going to hopefully get that one started very soon. And then another one that's people would appreciate, particularly those that live off of 341 out by the schools near Sterling. There is traffic out there at that middle school that's out there on 341 and the elementary school. So that's Mackenzie and DePrater. And so we're going to kick off a project this year where we're hopefully going to be able to tie DePrater into the back of Mackenzie. And that's going to do a couple of things. It's going to be a safety issue for us. It's going to help, but it's going to free up a lot of that traffic. Plus, it's going to make life a lot easier for the neighborhoods back there and the parents and people that have to go to the school. So that's going to be a big project. Although it's not a huge project, it's going to be, the impact is going to be pretty significant for those folks out there.
Yes, that sounds great. That sounds like a project that it's one, but there's so many things happening within that project that are going to be good. The website.
Yes. All right. So working on that. That's another big one.
Yeah.
And in fact, Katie Basson, our director of communications, has asked me to come up with a 5 for 25. And so that's going to be one of them. I'm going to try and stick to our 3 goals in our strategic plan. And so the one it's kind of customer service and making business easier to do with Glynn County, efficiencies, is going to be the website. And so Katie and her team are working very hard on trying to get that finalized. And so we hope to have that actually up, running, posted sometime in the spring. And so that's going to be a big change for everyone here in Glynn County. It'll make it a lot easier to go on Glynn County's website and find what you need to find.
What other projects or things are you excited about in 2025?
Well, I think we accomplished a lot in 2024, and I think our record speaks for itself. In fact, there's a lot of great things that you and I talked about and our department heads talked about throughout the course of the year. So a lot is going to be found on your clips, on your videos. I would say also on the website, you can find everything on the website, but really it comes down to the team that we were able to build here, the work that we've been able to do, the projects that we've been able to knock out, start, a lot of the hiring. We brought on some really, really strong, good candidates across the board, from everything from Parks and Rec to Public Works to the police department and so on. But I would say also the commitment from the commissioners. And so one of the things that has been really I found very rewarding is working with the commissioners, how engaged they are across the board. We're going to miss Commissioner Fendig, a longtime District 2 representative, and he was very engaged. He was very engaged with the public out there. and not only this past 4 years, but his 4 years that he served before. So we're going to miss, I think, everybody on the island, and certainly the staff and his colleagues are going to miss Commissioner Fendig.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. He's great. Like I said, he's from here and he knows everybody and he's involved in everything. So yeah, he will be missed, but always time for new as well. So thank you so much for recognizing Commissioner Fendig and all the commissioners, because none of this will be possible without them. Right. So
right.
Exactly.
Well, they stay on top of me. So, my phone rings off the hook all day and night, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what I signed up for. And we're looking forward to Commissioner Duncan as well. So far in our dealings with him, I've been very impressed with him. He's very knowledgeable, very strategic in how he goes about some of the, thoughts that he has for what he wants to do. And so looking forward, I think we're all looking forward to that as well.
Yes. An exciting new year. So we're very excited for everybody in the county and the commissioners, and look forward to all the new projects. As you said, it'll be exciting to see how these things are actually coming to fruition, right? These things are going to be initiated and it'll be exciting to watch. So we can't wait for those updates in the new year.
All right. Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Okay. Thank you. Stay tuned for more Good News Glynn coming up next. Welcome back to Good News Glynn. I'm here with Chief DiCristofalo, Fire Chief for Glynn County. We're so excited to have you on today.
Well, thank you for having me back, Avery. I enjoyed our first session with Good News Glynn, and I'm excited to be back here during the holiday season.
We are so excited, and this is a really important time of the year for you and for everybody, but especially for you and your department for a lot of reasons, starting with you do some fun things for the community during the holidays, which we want to talk about, the Grinch tours. Tell me about that.
So last year, we started the Grinch tours, and it's a Grinch Santa Claus tour of the communities throughout Glynn County. And it's in conjunction with Glynn County PD and Glynn County Fire Rescue. It's just a great time of year. It's a great thing we can do for the community and for the kids. And it takes a lot on the backside to get this set up, to get it scheduled, planned out. People committed to playing these roles and being there for the families and the communities as we make it out there through the month of December. But as I said, this is our second year doing this, and we found this getting a lot easier to plan. But what has happened is the word got out last year, and so we get, can you come to my community? Can you come to my community? And we're trying to fit them all in. I know there's some we're going to miss, and that's why it expanded by, I believe, a full week this year, as opposed to 2 weeks last year. So we're doing it three weeks this year, ending the week right before Christmas, up to Christmas. But it kicked off earlier in December at the Christmas tree lighting at Pier Village, and I just want to give a shout out to Katie and her team for getting the Christmas tree set up, because last year the crowd was kind of small last year for the Christmas tree. This year I was blown away by the amount of people that were there to take part in that Christmas tree lighting, and we were fortunate because we kicked off the Grinch tour the same night. So Santa and the Grinch were off the trucks, out walking around, and it's this time of year where even people that still have a hard time getting into the spirit, man, you see the kids' eyes light up, and it makes you remember what this is all about.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great way to kick it off with the tree lighting in the village. And then, so if somebody wanted to get excited that you were coming to their neighborhood, how would they find out?
So we put out the neighborhoods that we are going to tour through the social media sites for Glynn County overall. So the Glynn County Board of Commissioners site, Glynn County PD, Glynn County Fire Rescue, and I believe it's even on Glynn County Emergency Management site, because they're also helping us out with some role playing with their personnel who want to take part in this. So the best way is to become a friend of our especially our Facebook sites, and you'll get this information that comes out. And we're learning our lessons of utilizing the local media to get the word out, and they've been very helpful. So once communities get notified, we then ask them, go ahead and put it out through your HOA email blast, so everyone knows that we are coming, and we're starting to see that the word's getting out in that manner.
That's great. Yeah. And every year, I think more and more, right? If people will know and get excited, and it'll just really become such a big thing.
I mean, I guess ideally next year we see it's grown so much that we have 2 groups going out at once, to hit it the right way. So.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Very exciting. Okay. Well, so be sure to check out social media. Maybe check with your HOA. Maybe they're aware of it as well. You can help get the word out that way. Let's jump the other projects. We're going to talk about ambulance, fire truck, and then you've got a new fire station. So kind of fill us in on those 3 things.
That's right. So these projects that you just mentioned, they're the fire department's Tier 1 SPLOST projects. And we're very excited and very appreciative of the support that the community gave to the SPLOST initiative. And it's provided funds to improve all services through the county, including public safety and fire rescue in particular, which of course I'm interested in. So earlier this month, we took delivery of the SPLOST ambulance that was purchased with SPLOST monies. And we had a dedication ceremony attended by commissioners and local media, and then the firefighters that work on the rescue. And we performed a traditional push-in, we call it, to dedicate the ambulance. And our fire department chaplain was there to bless the unit, so it is a safe unit to provide the service. We've recently received approval from the Board of Commissioners for purchase of our SPLOST fire engine, and we expect to take delivery of that at the end of May, beginning of June. So that'll be in service there at Station 1 at Old Jessup and Community Road, our busiest fire station. And then we've also, through the Board of Commissioners, we've just identified our architect design team and our construction manager for the new fire station that will go at the corner of Chapel Crossing and Highway 17. So we're very excited to begin the design process, probably beginning of the year, and get that station designed the right way so we can serve our growing community, not just what we do now, but what it looks like 50 years from now, to ensure that this building's built in the right way.
Yes, absolutely. I know there's been a lot of talk about that, and very exciting to hear that that's going to be taking off in the new year. Just out of curiosity, is that going to be a really big station, like compared to the others? Is that one of the larger ones, or?
It's not. It's going to be one of our typical stations. We're hoping to have 4 apparatus bays with 3 units running out of that station, housing anywhere from 5 to 9 people. It's in service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, times 50 to 60 years. So we have to make sure that it's designed correctly and built correctly for the safe and healthy living of the firefighters assigned there, but also for the weather situations such as hurricanes that our community faces, because we are there during these storms. And, it's not that it's going to be any bigger than any of our stations. It's not like it's going to house fire administration also. It's just going to be a working firehouse serving that growing area of Glynn County.
Yes. Okay. I see what you're saying. It's going to be strong and sturdy. That's for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
To literally weather the storms, but also
weather the storm. Yes, ma'am.
Years to come. Absolutely. Okay. Let's see. I wanted to talk about safety tips for the holidays.
Okay. And, the holiday season, like the rest of the year, everyone should be practicing fire safety. But what we find during this time of year is, people start to extend those extension cords out and overload extension cords with lights and trees and displays. And so please be aware that your extension cords, 1, are not overloaded. 2, they're in good condition. We don't want cracks on them where wires are exposed that could start a fire or electrocute somebody. We also find this time of year with the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, that a lot of our fires are caused by unattended cooking or cooking accidents such as that. And so, please be aware while you're prepping these meals that we never forget that we have something on the stove or in the oven. And keep an eye on the little ones when they're in the kitchen. Burn injuries to little ones from reaching up onto the stovetop because they saw grandma put the cookies back up there, but the oven's still on, and we see these burn injuries. So all of our safety tips are all about just really awareness, being aware. The other big one with the cold front, right now as we record this, we had a cold front move through. So it's going to get chilly again this weekend. And that causes people, one, to start using their fireplaces or to put out space heaters. Clothing, blankets and stuff can come into contact with the space heaters and cause fires within your house. So, be aware of where they're being placed. Be aware that we're turning them off when not used. Be aware that if you're lighting candles in the house for lighting at night, that you're blowing them out before you go to sleep. If you're using your fireplace, ensure that it's been cleaned recently. Ensure it's been inspected for any cracks through the chimney area, especially as it runs through the attic. These are all causes of fires that we've been finding that have been happening recently here in our community. And, we ask the community to be aware of how they're living in their house and setting their house up to prevent accidents from happening. And if the fire department can be proactive to get this message out and then the community buy into it, we start to make a fire safe community. And that's our ultimate goal, is less fire calls, less EMS calls. And, so we're serving the community in the right way.
Excellent. Yes, always good to remind everybody around the holidays for sure. So thank you. Okay, so anything else you want to get to before we talk about kind of the report card of, what happened last year, what's going to go on in 2025? I know
just the same stuff we talked about last time. We're constantly recruiting, looking for the next fire chief, to hire now as a firefighter and prepare him over him or her over their career to fill my shoes. So Glynn County Fire Rescue, along with Glynn County PD, are always looking for quality people to come join our team, as all departments in Glynn County are.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone interested in a career in the fire service and doing EMS, because that's what we do, visit glyncounty.org and find your way down to the jobs button at the bottom and fill out the fire department application, and we will be in contact with you to try to have you join our team.
Great. Yeah. That's always good news. So, yes, glyncounty.org, lots of information, lots of opportunity. So pick your department and see what there is going on. Yeah,
that's right. There's a lot of opportunity within Glynn County government for quality careers for quality people.
Absolutely, yes. And those are obviously the paid positions, the 9-to-5s or whatever.
Right.
But there are also board and different committees and volunteer positions available.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. You see on the agendas with the Board of Commissioners, they're constantly looking for good people to serve on boards and groups and committees to help this community as a whole move forward in the right way.
Yes. Can you be a volunteer firefighter, or must you go through training and all of that, I would imagine?
So there is a Glynn County Volunteer Fire Department.
Okay.
And it's where Glynn County Fire Rescue was born from, the St. Simons Island Volunteers and the Glynn County Volunteers. Mm. Unfortunately, what we're finding throughout this country is volunteerism is down. Mm. And but Chief Everett, who's the volunteer fire chief, he's always on the lookout for people that have an interest in this but don't want to do it full time. And there's a place for everybody to serve this community, even in fire rescue. I know emergency management's looking for volunteers all the time, especially with their CERT programs and things such as that to help the community in different ways. But the ability to volunteer your time would always be appreciated. It's just finding the right role for the person.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up?
Well, there's just the report card that we do now monthly.
Okay.
And this came off of the county manager's quarterly execution review that he puts all department heads through to be transparent and report on performance measures. And so what Fire Rescue started doing through Facebook is putting out a little report card. And basically what it is how busy were we the last month? And, as I think we talked about last time, with our call volume, Glynn County Fire Rescue is the 11th or 12th busiest fire department in the state of Georgia. Yeah. That's a large number, for our little, 85,000 population community to be that high up within the entire state. Mm-hmm. So what we found for the month of November was we ran a total of 1,490 total incidents, was a little below our average. We averaged right in the 1,500, so we were a little below. But as usual, the EMS, which is 75% of what we do, counted for almost 1,200 of those 1,400 calls. Wow. Our ambulances, and like I said, we just got the new SPLOST ambulance. Tomorrow, we actually dedicate the second ambulance that was ordered last year, just off of capital funds. So we'll dedicate that tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock at station number 1 on Community in Old Jessup. But this all, this report ties into, how busy we are is not a good measure of how good we are. We look for outcomes. So, if we have a fire at someone's house, did we get there in a timely manner and able to put it out to save lives and property? So the family doesn't lose any loved ones, and their house is able to be rehabbed to be able to move back into. On the EMS side, are we getting their time to make a difference in someone's life during their medical emergency? So we look at outcomes more than we do just these outputs, which is how many fire trucks do we put on a scene, or how many people have to respond for an EMS call. We want to see what our results are. So that's what we report on the quarterly execution review to the county manager. Yeah. But we started monthly doing a report card just to show how busy we are, and keep the community informed of what their fire department is doing.
Yes, what a great thing. As you said, the Team Glynn is all about transparency, information, reporting in every different kind of way. And this is one great example. So yes, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Well, thank you so much. Great report. And we so appreciate you and your department and your time today.
All right, well, thank you, Avery, and thank you for having me back. And anytime you have a space, can't fill it, I'm willing to come and talk about fire rescue.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. It's so important, and we will look forward to having you on again soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome back to Good News Glynn. I'm here with Cap Fendig. He is Commissioner for Glynn County, and we're so excited to have you today.
Thank you very much. I'm always excited to be here and be with you and talk about the place that I love to live and work in, Glynn County and St. Simons.
Yes. So this is your last little bit as Commissioner. So you'll be going off the board soon, right? The end of this year.
Right. That's exactly right.
Okay. So I know we've spoken to you a few times. We talked about some different projects. I know the East Beach project is big. So if you just want to jump into some of those projects that you're excited about and take.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, in the past, I served 2 terms as at-large commissioner, which means you're kind of a backup for the quarterback, which would be the district commissioners, to help them with stuff. So in this particular term, St. Simons is my home. It's my generational home back to the 1870s when we first arrived here as family. And so I wanted to serve St. Simons and really do some things for St. Simons that I felt could get done. And it's worked out great. First, I got elected.
Yes.
And so it begins. And being a district commissioner is much more closer to the people, more intent.
Right.
A lot of phone calls. I had hoped that my record in the past 2 terms was to not have a hurricane to deal with. And I was here in my last year of the term, and bam, we had 2 hurricanes whack us. So that was pretty pretty traumatic for everybody, and we're still cleaning up from that. I still get calls, and yes, they're still cleaning up Glynn County. It's not over.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell how long that process is going to be for, like another year, do you think, or
Could be another 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge cleanup. And of course, we got nothing like a lot of other communities, inland, Hazelhurst,
Yes.
Blackshear, all the pecan orchards up towards Macon and everywhere. So, and then what happened in North Carolina, it got devastated. They were totally caught by surprise. And
Yes.
I knew, I'm a weather watcher too, because of the business that I'm in and the boats and tourism like that. I watch weather, I understand weather, and I knew that it was going to be a close call for everybody, and it did hook and turn like it had the propensity to do. But anyway, so projects, a lot of things that we've done. I'll just kind of go down my fire list here. Of course, Coast Guard Park. When I came on the commission, there had been a concerted effort to put together a master plan and get something done, and it hadn't moved or budged. And so that was one of my commitments, was to get that done. That took some time, but we were underway. The final design's been approved. We're going to have a waterfront or a beachfront building that kind of mirrors the look and feel of our historic Coast Guard station and the museum there. So it kind of gives a front and back of the property tie-in and the look and the feel. Of course, we vastly expanded more parking because, it gets crowded. We do have a place for the sailboats. It's always a hot issue there.
Yes.
They were in the master plan, included in the parking area. Honestly, we've tried to move them out of the main parking area and looked at some other options abutting the property. Mm-hmm. That still may come forth, but I just want to say, if it all doesn't work out, the surf sailors have 42 spots in the park to park their boats and stuff.
Okay.
Windsurfers.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't be the same. It won't be a private club operation. They can manage that, but it's you're going to have leases with the county, and they're going to have to pay, and there'll be a tenant just like everybody else is on the property there. So, but it's going to really look good, and it'll be historical value and have a viewscape all along the front so that people can go up and enjoy the shade or the breeze and see the ocean, feel the ocean.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. So a lot of people don't want to walk down to the beach and go out in the sand,
Right. Exactly.
So, as you know, in front, the beach changes dynamically for St. Simon's. So a couple storms, and all of a sudden we've had this large kind of a gully or a small pond or a lake that runs from the King and Prince all the way up to the breakers and all the other condominiums to the north. And it got deeper and deeper with tide coming in and rain filling it up. So with my maritime experience, I was able to suggest an idea of floating bridges that are easy to put out and take up and expand. And so the commissioners agreed to that. And we put 2 of them in, and they've been a hit, So nobody has to walk over the wood, the water, the mud, and what's in the water. It's a dry walk over to the good sand. So, and they're movable. Mm-hmm. So that was really good. So the Coast Guard's going to be a wind up. It's going to be a fun project.
Yes.
So, right around the corner, one of the biggest projects we had was Arnold Road. Some of the nasty things about being a commissioner is utilities and all of that. So paving. So we had to dig up all the road caved in. We had to dig up all the piping because over the years it had caved in. Wow. So we finally, working with Joint Water Sewer, we got it all paved, all piped, everything nice. And we're finishing up on the sidewalk so that people will have a sidewalk to walk on, because a lot of people use Arnold Road to get to the beach, from Demery Road and other west side, so that walk or bike. So we're going to have a sidewalk that'll be finished up. So that particular area is good. The Pier Village is kind of the next big hub of the island, and worked on a lot of things there. One was drainage. That again is not a fun thing to talk about or glorious, and you don't see it when you're done. But we redid and expanded the drainage outflow, so it's going to be pretty hard for the village and the businesses to experience any kind of flood. So we got all that done. Of course, my favorite thing is Christmas on St. Simon's. And when I came on the commission, Christmas lights and the initiative for Christmas would be described like a truck that had run out of gas. When I came on, nothing was happening. I credit a few people, merchants there, that tried to put some lights up, but that was such an important thing for me, for a kid growing up and having the Christmas lights. So again, we've spent a lot of money over the years, and we've got it now. This is the first year, and I'm going off. We got lights all the way from the pier down to the end of the north end of the village. So it's lit up all the way. And got the big Christmas tree in right at the front of the waterfront. So, I mean, it just, we had a great lighting ceremony. And so, I'm really happy about that. I thank the taxpayers for being willing to let me ask for more money than ever been spent down there in the village for lights, but it looks fantastic and everybody's going to enjoy the benefits of it.
Absolutely.
So that was fun. A lot of things that we work on, like Demery Park. Okay. That's where the skateboard park is, Demery Park. Well, when I became commissioner, there was no bathrooms there. There weren't even porta potties there. There was 200 people at any time down there on a soccer game. And it was like, oh my gosh.
Where do we go? Yeah.
So first thing, of course, we ordered porta potties and got them in there. So at least you could go to the bathroom in private.
Right.
But then the county commission got together and we put the plan together. And now we have a wonderful pavilion there with bathrooms covered and shaded, so you can cook out and families can go down there and enjoy it. So it's not just organized sports. A lot of dads like to take their families down there and their kids and girls and practice soccer or baseball or, whatever, throw the football. And so that's really exciting about that. And so the next thing that I worked on, which is just about that far away, was Jim Brown's honor walk. On the south end, the sidewalks are very small. They're very crowded. There's really no people to walk in today's society. We're much focused on being healthier people, and walking is one of them. And you can't always walk on the beach if it's high tide. So, and on the south end, it's very crowded. Traffic's dense. So we have designed a 1,000-yard walk around the perimeter. It'll be 8 foot wide. And we named it in honor of Jim Brown, because where he was born and where his family still owns property is right next door. Jim Brown was the greatest athlete recognized in American history. He's the only athlete that's won 3 Hall of Fame places: the lacrosse, the National Football League, and college football. And of course, he was an icon in films. And then the end of his life, he worked up social work in LA. And so I've been working with the family very closely the last 4 years. It's been slow to move. But, what's coming on the property that they own and the walk there, the NFL is going to come in and the family's going to put in, and they're going to create memorial stops or reflection stops. Another thing about Jim Brown is his family came to America on the Wanderer here to this area, which is the last slave ship to America.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people don't know the history there. It landed on Jekyll, but his family stayed here and worked on St. Simon's and stayed and has land. So that's a significant history he has that really hadn't been honored. So that'll be coming up. So,
say again where the strip, a 1,000-yard strip, where exactly from where to where will it
that's
be?
going to run from the pavilion in Demery Park
Okay.
around the perimeter, all the way around.
Okay.
And there's a lot of wooded area. We're going to go back behind the wooded area and all the way around the perimeter, up by the skateboard park and back into the
Okay, just around the
So kids can ride their bikes, they can walk, but it's a good walking track and it'll get heavily used.
Yes, yes. I just wanted to clarify exactly where it was going.
Thank you. And of course, the main thing that I've been working on was traffic improvements for St. Simon's, which were tough projects and high dollar. And I've got, again, thanks to the community and the tax, we got everything underway to happen, big changes. The entrance to St. Simon's, of course, is going to be totally redesigned for better traffic flow, and we're in the final designs of that. Demery Road, going from there, Demery Road up to the airport road and the roundabout there will be widened, and we've got a lot of ditches. We're going to get them all covered up, piped and covered up. And then Sea Island Road going north. Of course, I really pushed hard for making it 4 lanes, a boulevard. You know, everybody thinks, oh, 4-lane expressway. No, that wasn't anything I hadn't imagined, but that didn't pass, you know, and that's that. So we're working with a 2-lane, but we've got to replace the bridge at Dunbar Creek. That'll be coming up. So the county's done all its work with DOT to get that done. And, you know, funny thing, just how sometimes it can be, the first letter we got on that project when I ended my term was that they were going to close Dunbar Creek completely for about 2.5, 3 years. Can you imagine that? That would have been
not a good idea.
disaster. So we were able to talk them out of that.
Yeah.
And they're going to build a go-around bridge.
Okay.
And then open it up and then build the new bridge again. And they're going to retain the old bridge and components. So it'll be a fishing park and an overlook for Ebo Landing in Dunbar Creek. I never was able to kind of get what I wanted done during the term for Ebo Landing. If people don't know what that is, a lot of people say Igbo. That was the site of the only mass slave suicide event in American history. And unfortunately, it happened here and in that river in Dunbar Creek. So I've always wanted to honor that. So we do have a memorial historical thing that the high school put together, and it's over in the Land Trust Park there at the intersection of Sea Island and Frederica Road.
Okay.
But hopefully that'll be all moved, and we'll have a nice fishing park. And a kayak launch was another thing I really tried to do on the inside of the island. There's not really a protected waters kayak launch, but that'll come forth. So all the seeds are set for that, and that's the way projects go sometimes.
Yes.
So that's kind of what's happening on that. And then Frederica Roundabout, that's really all designed and ready. The real issue and delay, has been the money. So I had to get taxpayers and commissioners to agree, because the original budget was like people thought 1.5 or 2 million. Previous commissions, I knew that was nowhere realistic. So the budget's about 6 to 8, maybe even 9 million, but we have the money for that set aside. That'll be a big project, you know.
That's the roundabout. They call it Twiggy Parks at Frederica.
Right. Mm-hmm. So the real holdup was Georgia Power. Those are big lines. Every power line, transmission, every line that serves all of St. Simon's to the north and the south and all the way to Sea Island, every utility runs right through that intersection or underneath it.
Oh, wow.
It's joint water sewer. So it's a huge project.
Yeah.
And just getting the Georgia Power, and they have right of ways, licenses to talk them into getting some power lines rerouted or moving some power poles. And the best way to do that is still kind of in its finality. You know, Georgia Power is a big company. We're like the flea down here in the sand.
Right.
With
literally the flea in the sand. Yes.
Yeah. So, but Bob Duncan's coming on. He has a lot of the new commissioner. He has his life career has been in transmission lines and utility work. So he'll bring a lot of skill sets to that. So, you know, I've been happy all about parks. And of course, the great hit was the park in Glen Haven, which nobody knew when I was running. Of course, I didn't say too much about it, but that was one of my top goals, was to stop a 18 house development in there, purchase that land and turn it into a park. That neighborhood has 575 homes. It has the largest enrollment of young kids in our schools. So it's very dense, very family. And again, with a lot of pushing and tugging and support from the community and my fellow commissioners, which they've been very supportive to almost everything I wanted. Of course, I didn't get everything, you know, but by the end, we got it done. The owners of the land, Tommy Stewart and Leanne, held on to that land and made the deal with us. And so it's been a smash. It's a great park, and I'm really proud of that. So.
Yes. My daughter actually lives there with her little 2-year-old and almost 2, and they enjoy it at least twice a day, every day.
And it's not just for kids. We put a walking track around the park there too, and grass room for play soccer and everything like that. So that's been great. So
it's so great. Now, could you do that in every neighborhood? I think that's a must.
Well,
every neighborhood.
my wife is not going to let me run any further than I have. This is it. 3 terms.
Right.
I tell you, we have an all-male commission up there this time, a little unusual. But I want to say a thank you to all the wives and all the commissioners in the past to the wives, because really life for them stops and it never ends. And one, you know, their ability to have a normal life with their husband and family stops. And then what starts is a continuous barrage of phone calls and meetings, and they have to stand back. So really, my wife, Catherine, I want to give her a great thank you. You know, I had to beg pretty hard for the 3rd term, and she deserves all the credit. And I'm going to focus really hard when I come off the commission to doing everything I can to bless her. So that was good. So the other big thing was down at the end of, let's see, at Village Creek, the boat ramp there was all kind of tore up. The lease that the county had expired. There had been an expired lease for a couple of years. The owners kind of wanted to shut it down to the public going down there. So it was a big thing to get that all negotiated out, but finally we did, with the help of all the owners of Little St. Simon's, and the Gowans that own that end of where they have their restaurant now. All of that, we finally got it worked out and got the road piped. Yeah, we got it paved, and we got a new boat ramp in there. So, you know, there's not much on the north end for people to get to the water, and we were able to get that project done. So, you know, that took 2 or 3 years between negotiating, getting the money, and, you know, things go very slow. You really have to keep tugging and pushing. But we did. And of course, we paved a lot of roads here on the island. Every year we have paving grants from the state, and we match it with local money. So, you know, after the nightmare of Arnold Road, everybody was glad to have some simple projects. You know, but again, North Harrington was a problem because North Harrington was built over an old dump and old sand dunes, and the road was caving in and potholes were going in there. So it was a lot to get that road bedded properly and then paved, and a lot of plumbing. Still have a few problems, but it's all paved. So North Harrington was great. Got South Harrington taken care of. South Harrington, we took up the speed bumps, which a lot of people were mad at. But we put speed bumps in Broadway, actually speed humps because they're bigger,
Right.
because families were right there. And of course, a lot of the families that live on South Harrington didn't like that too much. But our traffic studies repeatedly over the course of the year showed there wasn't that much speeding and there wasn't that much traffic down the road. So, you know, that might happen in the future, but, you know, we didn't get it done. So I think I kind of hit everything, basically. You know, we're going to have a lot of bridge work. Everybody, you know, has had a lot of traffic, but everybody has to brace themselves for the bridge work. So you're going to have the bridge there at Dunbar Creek. Also, the big bridge going over the McKay River, the high-rise bridge. Well, when they built it, really, they built it at the wrong angle and didn't the currents. And so tugboats, which are still moving up and down, hit that thing repeatedly to enough that it damaged it. And so that work's going to start here in a couple of years. It'll go fast, but it's a big project. It's going to mean delays. I've worked with the DNR to replace a new fishing boat ramp and a new fishing pier there. I'm all about that. As in my first term, I got the fishing pier and dock put in at Gascoigne Bluff, which is big. The charter boats use it. So, you know, beach and access to the water, I'm all about. So, but the bridges, you know, will be going on, and the other bridges, Little River and Back River, all kind of ending their lifespan. So, you know, we're going to have a lot of bridge work going on. And of course, that's what's happening on US 17 right now. And so that's a big jam. But I think that's everything. I guess the biggest thing that I would say is that for the community as a whole, the growth and the expansion of the port is going to go off the charts. We're now the port for automobiles, farm equipment, and heavy industrial equipment, and the expansion of that. So that's bringing a lot of people. If you look at what we're doing, we're not permitting much on St. Simons, but we're permitting a huge amount of development on Brunswick side and out west. So the gold rush is on. You know, Buc-ee's is open up. Wawa go to open up. You know, the city is slowly crawling out of a dark hole, and you know it's hard to get things done. Again, it takes a lot of time. But the city is coming along, so a lot of great things in store for Glynn County.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I learned something every time I talk to you. I learned something new. But you should be very proud of the 3 terms that you've served. I know we as citizens definitely appreciate it. Appreciate you and your dedication and commitment to Glynn County and to the board, all of your terms. And we just wish you the best in the future. But I want to say too, the things you thought about are, and you actually, I feel like have been in the works and maybe have been good ideas. Maybe you've had it on your to-do list. But I feel like you actually accomplished so many of those things. I know you said, obviously, you can't do everything. You didn't get everything you wanted. But I think the things you did do were fantastic. And you know, there was follow through and you got it done. So you should be proud, of course, of all of that.
Well, I am. If you looked at my list that I created when I decided to run for office, it was 120 items.
Wow.
I've got 105 of those items done. So
wow.
With the help of the public and the funding and the help of the county staff and, you know, my fellow commissioners, you have to get the votes. You have to have 4. And they know I tug and pulled on them all the time for stuff for St. Simons. But, you know, even little things like golf cart parking, you know, make a big difference around the island and the beach access. And
Yep.
We made it where you could drive golf carts over to the beach, you know, and just all those little things. So, yeah, my commissioners and the public stood behind me, and we got those projects done, and that was beyond what I thought possible, for sure. But I'm a big dreamer, and I love St. Simon's, and I serve a big God. I'm a great believer in Christ and God, and I know that He can endow you with favor if your heart's right and your motives are right. And I feel like He's done that.
Absolutely. 3 times, right? At least.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we just appreciate your service, and we wish you all the best in your, I guess, retirement from the board, right?
Yeah. Now I get to go back to running boats and running trolleys.
Yes. Yes. So we'll wave to you in the trolley. And yeah, we thank you so much for your time today. This has been great.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.